Okay, so I came across this video and I became intrigued, okay? Basically. How fascism works. Author flees the US to Canada. You know it's pretty bad if, like, shit like this is starting to happen, right? Like, I think we can all admit it's gotta be pretty bad if, if you got, like, authors starting to flee and shit. I'm just saying, I'm just throwing that out there. What do we got from the
I'm
rationale?
leaving because the political climate for the universities and the political climate for freedom looks grim in this country. We face a fascist regime.
A
That's
Yale
true.
professor and an author of a book on fascism has announced that he is now leaving the U.S. for Canada, citing Trump's attacks on free speech and the move towards fascism as the reason.
Damn.
So, in this video, I'm going to get to a couple of clips from a recent interview that he gave where he announced this, as well as.
And we know that, like, the administrations of the universities are, like, wanting to capitulate to Trump because of the fact that, well, uh they don't want to lose, like, their federal grants and subsidies, right? They don't want to lose that shit, so they have to capitulate in order to make sure that gravy train is maintained, right? That's kind of like the point for as to why probably a lot of crackdowns like this. I mean, like, think of it this way. We all know why the administrations of, like, universities heavily crack down on the Palestinian protests, right? It's because of investment portfolios, purely. And, like, if we're talking about the makeup of, like, these if we're talking about, like, broadly speaking, the makeup of these administrations, they're not left-leaning, they're conservative, most assuredly so. It's the conservatives that are doing shit like this. It's the administration, the people who want to make money, make sure that the gravy train keeps going. Generally speaking, are heavily incentivized to crack down on, free speech and shit like that because of the fact that, well, hey, this is going to affect our bottom line. And we don't want our bottom line to be affected. That's why, like, the protests, the Palestinian protests were very, very effective. Because, like, despite the fact that what the students were demanding was, like, basically a tiny change in the overall investment portfolio. Like, for, like, Columbia University, it's like 0.8% of the fucking portfolio. They still weren't going to do that because they didn't want to, have, like, a sort of knockdown effect. Knock-on effect. I think it's knock-on effect. Start to happen throughout every other university. Even though, like, there are plenty of other universities out there who got together with their student unions and everything, and they hashed out the problem, and they were just like, hey, like, I understand, like, we hear you, we understand, like, what your demands are, and we agree with them, but, like, just like, give us some time, because we need some time to take care of it. And guess what? Guess what happened? Eventually, the protests stopped, and the students went back. They did their own thing, and eventually, guess what? The investment, the portfolios themselves were, like, were closed. I guess it's closed is the correct term. They listened to the demands of the protesters, is essentially what I'm saying, right? Like, that happened. Assuredly so. And, whoa, the issue was resolved pretty peacefully. But, like, for most of the other universities, they're just like, well, no, actually, no, we don't want this. We want to maintain our, like 0.2%, whatever the fuck, for Israel, for, our 0.2% investments in our in Israeli companies. Actually, fuck the students. We hate the students.
Is a couple of comments from his recent piece in The Guardian and what has led to all of this. So let me first start with what's been going on at universities. So there are a few articles that I'll share here that give sort of an overview.
Mm-hmm.
Politico, which, let's be clear, is more of a right-leaning outlet, writes here, universities are caving to Trump with stunning speed and scope. So they cite various universities. Columbia is one of them. I'll get to more on Columbia in a minute.
That's true.
But Columbia University, University of California, Dartmouth College, as a few examples of the moves that these universities are making to capitulate to the Trump administration.
They do.
The Washington Post headline here: Trump says pressure on Columbia is only the beginning for college campuses. So that was on March 15th. Subheading here: the president has launched a campaign to remove.
And here's the thing: this has been the sort of conservative playbook for like a long time. Like, you know, they've been trying to like sow like all these different conservative groups to undermine the to sort of undermine like universities for like forever at this point, right? This is like broadly known, let's be honest. You know, Turning Points USA, like Charlie Kirk's rag. You know, you can argue about the success of it. You know, I've memed on the success of like Turning Points USA, but like honestly, it's starting to bear, I guess, some fruit. If like this is gonna transform into like electoral victory, that's a completely different question. Because I know he's been like trying for a really long time to get like Republicans in Arizona, and he's like pretty much failed every single time. And there's not a lot of young people who watch Turning Points USA. Maybe those demographics are starting to change, because it used to just be a lot of old people that were watching it, and everyone just like made fun of him for that. Objectively correct thing to do. Just like, man, you tried so long to try to court young people, and you just failed miserably. Ha. A point and laugh. And I'm just like, true, you should point and laugh at that. Cultural zeitgeist is changing, you know. I don't know. I think it's just kind of sad to see.
Non-citizens who protested against Israel and banned university administrators to his will. And he is successful so far.
Mm-hmm.
So Columbia University, this came about a week later, received a wave of criticism on Friday after it agreed to a number of demands from the Trump administration as part of negotiations over $400 million in federal grants and contracts.
Yeah, that's the reason why. It's all about the fucking federal grants. It's like, fuck, they're trying to affect our investment portfolio. God damn it. 'Cause that's what it's really all about. They just want money. Let's be quite frank and honest here. It's all about the money, baby. And like $400 million for a university, that's a lot. Even though these are like like billion-dollar institutes or some shit now. Damn, it's almost as if, let's be frank here, these institutions being for profit might actually be a bad thing, guys. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I don't think universities being for profit is a good thing. You know, we all know about like the meme with like Lee Atwater saying like, "Oh fuck, we're making an educated proletariat. We need to stop fucking subsidizing the universities." Uh-oh.
This, in addition to many of the moves that many of the agreements that they have made with the Trump administration, one of them being giving broad power to a government-controlled independent individual, in quotes, to oversee their Department of Middle East, South Asian, and African Studies, and the School Center for Palestine Studies. But also, Columbia...
Wait, Trump administration... yeah, apparently alleged inaction in the face of persistent harassment of Jewish students. Yeah, something that definitely happened, of course. Hired 30 special officers who will have the ability to remove individuals from campus and arrest them. So they're literally making like a secret fucking police. That is fucking wild, bro. Huh. Yeah, they're making a secret police. Hilarious.
Has hired over 30 special officers who will have the ability to remove individuals from campus and arrest them.
Sure, man. Totally.
Hard to know what to add there. So we've already seen
time for
some
the
examples
university
of
campus
what
Gestapo.
they're doing. So
let's go, boys.
basically, this gives the Trump administration complete
control,
the full ability to sort of see who has been a part of these protests against Israel's genocide.
You think Mahmoud Khalil was the first, or the girl? God, I forget her name. Holy shit, I'm blanking on her fucking name. The South Korean girl who's also a permanent resident. What's her name? Yun Seo Chung. You thought they were the first? I think there was also a professor who recently also got arrested. You know, in our most recent episode of Keeping Up with the Gestapo. There was another arrest, different university, but there was another arrest of someone. So that's cool. Very, very cool and good that they're, you know, going after the First Amendment. Reminder, conservatives have never cared about the First Amendment. This has never been about the First Amendment. If they cared about the preservation of the First Amendment, they wouldn't be doing any of this. But, you know, tomato, tomato, potato, potato, who cares? It's always been complete nonsense from the beginning.
So, as I've discussed several times already in various videos, Mahmoud Khalil, immigration arrest, agents arrest Palestinian activist who helped lead Columbia University protests. So he was a target of those arrests. Another student, this is Yunseo Chung, who's
Thank you, David, for bringing up the same
was born in
people.
South Korea but has been in the U.S. since she was 7 years old, is someone else who was targeted for deportation, though she has sued. And a recent headline I saw suggests that she gets to stay in the U.S. for now as she's fighting this.
Oh, that's good. Well, at least she, doesn't get deported back to South Korea. She gets to stay. So, for now. So, that's a good development. It, you know, considering how bleak this whole situation is. It's better than nothing, I guess.
Another example we saw yesterday in a very disturbing video.
The recent
as CBC News writes here, U.S.
like literal fucking plainclothes officers, literal fucking Gestapo are coming in to like arrest this professor, this woman. I forget her name. I'm really bad with names.
Immigration authorities have detained and revoked the visa of a Turkish doctoral student at a Massachusetts university, Tufts University.
Oh, yeah, by the way, doing this without due process. I know that the conservatives constantly complain like, due process, due process. Why are people talk about due process? Because in the Constitution, it quite literally says that people have legal rights, right? They are expected to have a trial. That is the Fourth Amendment. Is it the Fourth Amendment? I don't remember which amendment it is. But it is quite literally enshrined within the Constitution that people have a right to trial. So, you can cope and seethe about it, conservatives. Sixth Amendment. Thank you, Boy Meets Mini. The Fourth Amendment's like, that's about like illegal, that's like about illegal search and seizure. Right, that's what I was thinking of. So yeah, not the same thing at all. Yeah, fourth is search and seizure. Fifth is the one where people plead it all the time if they don't want to specify something in trial. Sixth is the one saying like everyone has legal right to trial. But yeah, like we all know the meme of, hey, God, the name of that one dip, Rick Scott pleading the fifth. What was it, like 74 times during his scam trial, where he basically did Medicare fraud to the tunes of like billions of dollars. So yeah, you know. Brother, all I know is the second and the first. That's the only ones I care about. That's right. Hilarious.
University, who had voiced support for Palestinians in Israel's war in Gaza, a development the state's attorney general called alarming. So that student being Rumisa Ozturk.
Yeah. Republicans caring about the first.
This is
Osmina Ozturk.
This video in particular, I think, has made the rounds because of how disturbing it is. These plain clothes officers approach her. You can't even tell they're officers. Six of them, I believe, approach her,
it's just like,
and she's taken away screaming. Now,
crazy.
Yashar Ali tweeted this out with the video saying, when this video was first texted to me, I assumed it was from Iran. The way she screams, she was wearing a hijab. The way the law enforcement approached her, it looked no different from the way Islamic Republic authorities arrest women. It's from Massachusetts, of course. There's no reason to detain someone in this manner who isn't a danger to the public, none at all. Now,
Well, I mean, this is the point, right?
this is
I mean, this is the point, right? Like, of all like fascist authoritarian regimes, right? Like, the maintenance of the hierarchy of the hierarchical structure through terror, right? Like, we're not like completely unaware of all this. We've seen this play out through God knows how many authoritarian regimes, like the Soviet Union, Nazi Germany, fascist Spain, all the Warsaw Pact countries. The same shit, right? You go against the will of a dear leader, you're probably gonna get disappeared. Tomato, tomato, potato, potato. Get fucking Shrek'd, idiot.
these are three of many. As Marco Rubio confirmed, he revoked the visa of the Tufts student and said he likely has revoked the visas of hundreds more. Quote, "We do it every day. Every time I find one of these lunatics like somebody who wrote an op-ed criticizing a genocide."
Yeah. Keep in mind, like this is a great point here by David. Keep in mind, like, what Marco Rubio is doing this for. He's doing that to protect the fifis of Bibi Netanyahu. He wants to protect the fifis of the fucking of Adolf Hitler. So once gotta protect the Hitlers. Very important. Protect Hitler.
That's what he describes as a lunatic. I take away
Like,
their
literally
visas.
an op-ed,
The
bro.
total number of revoked visas, quote, might be more than 300 at this point. This gets to Jason Stanley. This is the professor of philosophy at Yale, who has announced that he is now leaving the U.S. to
He's
go
woke.
work in Canada.
Colombia is completely bending to an authoritarian regime.
Woke.
And what we're seeing across universities, Michelle, is we're seeing this culture of
He's
fear,
woke,
this
guys.
idea that if we just do what they say, everything will be okay. But
Yeah, we all know, like, what happened to the people who capitulated, right? Like, who just tried to bend the knee and just, like, try to go along to get along. The Dex Digi video talks about this, of course. Yeah, base of this philosophy professor to leave. It's just like, bro's just like, I gotta get out of here, man. Like, this is just, like, this is completely untenable. This is insane. I mean, the question is are they gonna care about that though, Boy Meets Mini? If like people just keep leaving more and more? I don't know though. Like that's like the question. Are they gonna give a shit? Yeah, if they're making their money, because why is Columbia University doing this? To make sure they don't lose $400 million in federal grants. That's it. Because again, guys, it's almost as if like having private institutions for universities, that might be a bad thing actually. Yeah, seems kind of ridiculous, seems kind of silly, but I think that might be a bad thing, guys.
I'm seeing this everywhere, and it's one reason that I am probably leaving the United States to
Really?
the University of Toronto.
Huh.
Be-
Is that? I was going to ask, what are your thoughts about your own course here?
Yeah, this guy
so
might be a little woke.
you feel
He's too
strongly
woke.
enough about this that you are going to leave the country.
Yes, because I would not do this if I saw all of our universities banding together. But it's not just the universities, Michelle. It's the law firms.
True.
It's all of our American institutions. When Paul and Weiss capitulated, the part of the reason they capitulated is other law firms, instead of defending them, were going after their clients. Now, we see
Insane,
universities
by the
saying
way.
things, including my university, like, we're going to keep our head down so we're not targeted. As soon as I heard that vocabulary, I knew sort of,
Yeah, that means
it
it's
might
cooked,
be
bro,
that
right?
game.
There are so many Jewish academics who agree with this. It's insane. Dude, like, that's why I keep saying, like, the idea that, like, they're doing this because they're concerned about the fifis of, like 2.5 people that exist on campus is just fucking, it's nonsense to me, right? Like, it's not because of that. They're just doing that because they're just fascist pieces of shit. Because let's be honest, like, Trump's incredibly fucking anti-Semitic. He doesn't give a fuck about Jewish people. He's just doing this for the behest of his daddy Netanyahu. That's the only reason why he's doing this. He doesn't give a fuck about like Jewish people. Trump is incredibly anti-Semitic, so it's never been about that. Bro doesn't give a shit about any of that stuff. It's all for like the behest of the Zionist project. That's it. That's what it's for. Simply put, that's all that matters.
The game is over, because you're not banding together if you say we're going to keep our head down.
That's true.
All right, so I'll get to another clip from him in a second here, but this is the...
And yeah, just like I said with like the Dex Digi video, a lot of people will just basically say, I'm just gonna keep my head down. I don't want to like be like too sort of self-pronounced. I don't want to like cause a fuss. I just want to keep my head down, just go about my day. I don't want to deal with any of this bullshit. Which is also like effective for the fascist regimes. That's like, I mean, this is overall what they want. They don't want any resistance. They just want you to capitulate to the terror, right? That's like the point. And you know, whoa, liberals are kowtowing and being complete petulant loser cowards. Who would have thought? I don't blame anyone for doing that, by the way. It takes a lot of courage. I mean, that is true. They don't want to get like deported randomly, but like honestly, like let's be real here. I think Columbia University is doing this because they didn't want like to listen to their students from to divest from about like 0.8% of their fucking like investment portfolio. They're doing this because they're fucking cowards. I'll be honest. Let's be real here. They're just cowardly. Because eventually, like, you have to grow... At some point, you need to fucking grow a spine. And yeah, they don't want to get rid of their fucking Zionist bucks. Like, that's really all there is. Zionist orgs like Chabad have an iron grip over leadership. Exactly.
Author of How Fascism Works, The Politics of Us and Them.
I wonder why...
If
Donald
anybody
Trump doesn't
understands
like that
how
guy.
fascism works, it's the guy that wrote a book on how fascism works. The moves on education in particular, this is directly impacting his ability to do his job. He is unable to be a professor discussing actual history because of the directives being given by the Trump administration.
I knew some Jewish classmates who left Chabad when I went to uni. Based. Chabad sounds like a probable fascist org. Let's be honest here. If they're fucking Zionists, they're definitely fascists.
So he goes into more detail in his piece in The Guardian. Trump is setting the U.S. on a path to educational authoritarianism. While we watch students getting handcuffed, vague new guidelines create a culture of fear over teaching our history.
It's supposed to be a Jewish
So he goes
religious
into a
org
lot
that
of
became
detail
Zionist over
in this
time.
piece.
Many
I will
such
link to it
cases.
below the video in the description box under sources. But essentially, there was a directive from the Department of Education, the Office of Civil Rights, with their new interpretation of federal civil rights law, which goes into protecting essentially white people as a protected class of citizen. Meaning,
Oh no, the sanctity of the white. The whites. I can't believe we're being persecuted in this way on our honorable college Bro, fucking white people are such fucking pussies, okay? God, I hate whites, bro. Bro, I fucking hate whites, bro. Jesus, you people are fucking cowards. Madaho, they're protecting you from me. Yeah, I'm very scared of Boy Meets Minnie. The most terrifying... I've seen what he looks like. He scares the fuck out of me. Every time I look at Boy Meets Minnie, I go like, "Huh!" You know? That this is true and real. Like, come on, like, I'm supposed to believe from white nationalists that white people are like the strongest and most powerful like race of people. But you know, they have to like get enshrined like constitutional rights every time for themselves. Or like when like there's like a small protest that goes on their sacred university campuses because they're just like, hey, you know, I think Zionism is actually kind of bad, guys, you know? I'm like, dude, like, I'm just gonna like look at you and be like, wow, you people are fucking pussies. Like, Jesus. I thought white people were supposed to be made of iron or some shit. Like, you people, I thought you people were supposed to be tough, but you're, like, immediately shirking and, like, cowering away like complete cowards. Bro, this shit's pathetic. And they want to say that they're the strongest. It's like, bro, yeah, you're not a Nord. I thought Skyrim was supposed to belong to the Nords, and you guys are, like, being complete fucking, like, capitulating loser-ass pussies about this shit. What are you, fucking losers? I thought these people were like big-brained people who could win a debate in the marketplace of ideas. But, you know, hilarious. They can't even fucking do any of that shit. It's just pathetic. It's cowardly.
Because of how vague all of this is written, if you discuss the history of slavery or the history of what was done to indigenous people, you risk losing your job. You risk being reported by other people within the university or students, and risk losing your job because of your discussion of history, because of how it may make white people feel.
No, not
in this case, white racists, I assume, or people that don't care about actual literal history.
Yeah,
so he goes into a lot more detail in this piece, but he.
I'm poor widow whitey. I'm so scared and afraid of all the blacks and browns in my country. Get the fuck out of here, bro. Yeah, also, that's a good point, Boy Meets Mini. Yeah, I thought white nationalists hated academia, yet they're trying to do everything possible to change academia. Oh, what's going on here, huh? It's almost as if they don't fucking believe in anything, and they just want to make, like, it's all about maintaining social fucking hierarchy. That's it. They just hate you, and it's about maintenance of hierarchy. Remember, this is the constant first order principle for fucking conservatives. They hate you, first and foremost, and they want to do everything possible to maintain hierarchy. That's it.
He summarized a bit of it here, saying the guidelines create a culture of fear and intimidation around history. If one discusses black history, one immediately risks endorsing the view that the U.S. is, quote, built upon systemic and structural racism. The guidelines invite students to report their teachers and their school administrators for not adhering to a state-imposed ideology about history, as well.
A state-imposed ideology about history. Yeah, remember who... I wonder who were the other people who have done that before. Who's done shit like that before? I mean, you know, the Nazis, the Soviet Union, you know, all the authoritarian shitholes. Yeah, the People's Republic of China, Cultural Revolution. Yeah, India. India does it too. But guys, I thought we were for the free expression of thought and like big ideas and stuff. What happened? What happened? What happened? What's going on? Conservatives. I thought we cared about free expression. Come on. These people never fucking cared about free speech, man.
Well as state-imposed ideology about gender, which threatens to make teaching critically about gender identity or including trans perspectives into school on student harassment. Failure to adhere to state ideologies about history and gender fits this new definition of school on student harassment. Billions in federal funding is at stake. So he goes into a lot more detail here.
It's just pathetic.
Worth noting, he has, so he wrote the book,
No, trans women that we, you know, want to suck their cocks of and get pegged by all the time. But we fucking are scared and terrified of them. But okay, dude. I'm going to tell you right now, most conservatives tend to be chasers. This is true. Conservatives tend to be chased. Yeah, they want the gawk. They don't want anyone else to have the gawk. They only want the gawk for themselves. Let's be honest here. They just want the gawk for themselves. Pretty fucking pathetic, I'll be honest.
Works, as I said earlier. So he's accepted a position at the University of Toronto's Monk School of Global Affairs and Public Policy. Here he is discussing more about the decision to leave.
So I want to get back to you though. You're leaving. Any regrets about that? Do you feel in a way you're abandoning the fight, or how do you see it?
I think Canada is very centrally in the fight right now. You know, I would return to the United States, my home, in a heartbeat. And I hope, you know, and that's why I'm saying I'm probably moving to Canada because I might return to Yale if they essentially allow me with leave structures. And I'm leaving because the political climate for the universities and the political climate for freedom looks grim in this country. We face a
True.
fascist regime. So
Based.
I can best fight it
He's so right.
in a country that is dedicated to freedom, to the values that I love, the values that America, the United States was formed on: freedom and equality. And Canada definitely centers those values. I have 2 Black children.
Let's go. Let's go, Canada. Get fucking owned, America. You guys fucking suck balls. You guys suck. Yo, fucking Canada, our true, you know, home and I don't know what they changed it from, because it's our home and native land. I think they changed that recently. Whatever, I'm saying it. Who cares?
2 Black Jewish children, and you know, the United States to erase, to use one of their identities as a sledgehammer for fascism, and to try to erase another of their identities is deeply problematic for me. And you know, there's all these long-standing features of this country, like mass incarceration that I worry, and violent policing that obviously with 2 Black sons concern me as well. But this is my home. The United States is my home. It will always be my home. I'm a patriotic American, and I want to fight for our country. But I do.
I'm time to listen to all the dumb fuck arguments like from like conservatives saying like, what, you got black children? You don't want to you want to leave your country? What the hell, brother? That's not patriotic at all. Yeah, I can only assume just how like probably cancerous this is probably going to be. I'll be honest. You know, I can only assume how bad it could be. Just how like mind-numbingly stupid. I'll just be like, God, you people are literal like not human. Let's be honest here. The people that are doing this, not human. Barely registers in my mind that they are actually people. Yeah, these yeah, and I'm here dealing with Asmongold brain rot, okay? You got fucking Indian Unk fucking brain rot. I have dipshit Gamergate 2 brain rot. The like stupid dumb fuck like patriotic boomer types. They ain't shit.
Do have 2 small children. I do have 2 young children, and I do think that the institutions that I love are being existentially threatened, and they're not defending themselves in a way that gives me any kind of hope that free inquiry will still be possible.
Trump spoke
It's
endlessly
true.
about the importance of free speech. Yet, here's the administration deporting people for their free speech, speaking out against a genocide. And now you have professors feeling like they have to leave the country because they're not allowed to even discuss history and how it actually.
Yeah, hey, conservatives. What happened to free speech, huh? I thought we cared about that. I thought that was a value you people cared about, huh? What happened to that, huh? What's up? What's going on? Huh? Thought we gave a shit about that. I guess not, huh? Who would have thought?
happened. Free speech.
Free speech, guys.
Last thing
We really
worth
care about
sharing
that.
from his piece here. What does it say that a scholar of fascism is leaving the U.S. right now? Said Stanley, quote, part of it is you're leaving because ultimately it is like leaving Germany in 1932, 33, 34. There's resonance. My grandmother left Berlin with my
True.
father in 1939. So it's a family tradition.
Dude, that's a crazy fucking thing to say. I mean, yeah, I mean, I've said this before. For conservatives, it's never been about free speech. They've never given a shit about free speech. Free speech, free expression. They hate that shit. In reality, you look at, like, literally everything they push for and believe in. It's never been about that. It's about one thing and one thing only for these motherfuckers: maintenance of the hierarchy. They want like dumb fuck, low IQ, DEI white people on top, and everyone else to be in line on the fucking bottom. That's it. That's what it's always all been about. The Trump administration is doing the shit that they're doing because they're doing DEI for fucking white people. Okay, call it how it is. It's DEI for fucking dumb fuck, loser, low IQ whiteys.